Hello, everybody. This little buffet table comes from our friend's house, and the little buffet table that I got that was from Habitat for Humanity for $15, which I made the hutch and the bottom part separated, and then I put it on Facebook Marketplace. I had 6 people who wanted it. This friend wanted it, but she wanted it black. I got a bunch of negative feedback from all of you viewers, which is fine. I don't like everything people do either. However, I did sell it. And she had this where the buffet was going. So she said, if you want this, you can have it. And I said, great. So I thought I would take off some of the black paint because whoever painted it over the blue and then the dark brown stain, there were some drips and things like that. So when I took off all of the top of the buffet's paint with a heat gun, which is much less messy than stripper, I saw this beautiful oak veneer. So I thought, oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. However, I know many of you will say, why didn't you strip the rest of it off? Well, because this is not going to sell for very much money. I do like the black and oak look together. And yeah, this took me about, I'd say, a full day to strip all of the old paint off, to hand sand the rest of it to make it more susceptible for adhesion for the new paint. And then I used the milk paint to milk wax is what I should call it. The black milk wax, which you'll see in coming up. So anyway, here is me taking off the paint, and you can see it's very easy to take off. And the best part about it, in my opinion, it's so easy to sweep up after you're done. So this is, I think, at normal, maybe times 2, a little faster than normal. It's a Wagner heat gun, and they are about $25 to $30 at Lowe's. I probably should have worn a respirator with this, but to me it just smells like you're blow drying your hair if you ever do that. It's just the heat smell. Then once I do the top of it, I do use the heat gun to get around the little crevices around the edges. And then after that, you will see that I use sandpaper. And then my father has a whole bunch of really nice detail scrapers. And I got all of the blue paints around the edges, which you'll see. Once again, all of this dries. You can just crumple it. There's none of that gooey mess. And I know people like their stripper, but it doesn't work as well as it used to. And really, people, don't be afraid of the heat gun. It's so easy. And today, also a funny thing happened with my Surf Prep sander. I've been using this now for about a year. And I wondered, how would I know when I needed to change the bag? Well, all of a sudden, the sander stopped working. And I took out the bag, and then it started working again, and it was very full. So I'm not sure if that's part of the mechanism or if it was just timing, but it holds a lot. So here's before and after. I first used an 80 grit sander, and then I used a 120 grit sandpaper for the Surf Prep sander. Now, part of me, well, not part of me, I like the light color better than with the black wax over it. However, once you have a bare wood, you need to do something to make it protected. All of the polyurethanes I use change the wood color. I've used Odie's oil, it changes the wood color. I don't know what to put on a light colored wood that will not change the color. So because I have the Milk Paint Black wax, I thought I would try that because the base unit of this piece is black. Now I'm showing you I smushed it because I went from the Surf Prep sander for hard on the top. You do not have to have the squishy part in there, but to do the detail work around here, I did use the squishy little sponge that makes detail work easier. Now, of course, it does not get into the very fine parts, and that's where I first tried sanding. And that did a little bit of help for the main wood, but then I got my dad's little scraper part. This is so awesome. It kind of reminds me of when the person at the dentist cleans your teeth. Awesome. So yeah, it was pretty easy to get all of the blue paint off from the little crevices. And here's what it looks like afterwards. So this is after sanding, hand sanding, and also using a little scraper guide. Okay, so here's me showing I used 120 as the last sanding part. And here it is afterwards. I think it's really pretty. That oak veneer is lovely. It's funny how it was covered with that black paint for such a long time, which leads me to believe this whole item, this whole piece would be very pretty, but I wasn't going to spend the time and effort to get all of this paint off. You can see the blue color that it used to be. I'm also trying to do some rough sanding, scuff sanding on the piece, and since this black looked really messy, I thought I would just remove the whole thing because it was one layer pretty much. Also, I wanted to cover up all of the blue, so whoever buys this, it'll look nicer for them. Not that people flip their furniture around and look at the bottom, but I always think if a piece looks nice on the underside, then it's a better piece in general. So now I'm using 80 grit sandpaper, and I'm doing a scuff sanding all around it to help the paints adhere to it better. Here's what it looks like when I finished doing the scuff sanding. And the Surf Prep sander is good. I like it a lot, but for detail work, I do think it takes off a little too much paint. Now that part right there was a big blob of paint that I removed. Then after I cleaned everything off, then I used the simple green to get any extra oils or anything like that off of it. So now I am just taking off all of the sandpaper residue, and I'm making sure all of the waxy stuff is cleaned off. And this is the same paints that my friend bought me to do their buffet. And so I'm just doing touch-up on the black paints. And I believe it was a similar kind of paint originally, because the way it peeled off when I did the heat gun. So I first painted it on one side, on the like you see it right there, and then I flipped it over and painted it again. I will be using it for a party to put food on it, and then once I do that, I'll clean the top off again and fix up any of the blue that's still still showing. Okay, so I've painted both sides, and now I am going to wax the top. I personally like it like it is, but I don't know how to not change the color, as I mentioned 5 times already. So here is the Milk Paint Black Wax, which one of the people who have watched this video, or my videos, said they really liked it a lot, and it is a really nice wax. I have no complaints about it. I just like lighter colors with dark, but once again, you let me know what should I use for a top coat that doesn't change the color. So here it is, before and after, and you can really see the nice grain on that veneer. And that's what it looks like now. Pretty cool. Subscribe if you haven't, and have a great new year.